7 things to talk about. I have a preamble. I'll talk about the product, the potential and opportunity, the process of getting started, the purchasers, getting buyer, getting prepared, and lastly, participation. How do you get started? Knowing fully well that even though it's export from Nigeria to North America, you are representing yourself as either, and I'll show a different option of where we can come in as Nigerian diaspora, and how, of course, whatever it is we are doing also impact our home, the businesses that you have to work with. I mean, since whatever it is you are going to be distributing in North America are going to be produced back at home in Nigeria. Now, currently, we have that exchange rate differentials. I mean, wide gap, $1 to about $8.50 in the parallel market. How does, I mean, we're very much familiar with the fact that the more dollar we have, of course, the more inflow we have in terms of foreign reserve, the more the value of Naira. And this inflow coming, the diaspora community contribute the remittances and others. We have foreign portfolio investment. We have the foreign direct investment. We have trading goods and trading services. Now, what's interesting about it is that we, as a Nigerian, we only have control over trading goods and trading services. We don't have control over foreign direct investment. We don't have control over foreign portfolio investment. Even remittances, we don't have control over it. You decide you are going to send money back home. The investor decide they're going to invest in Nigeria. And I'm going to show you a data that shows how these are declined significantly in recent time. And that explains why we have what we have in terms of the exchange rate differentials. Now, look at the trajectory of export from Nigeria, declined to 2020 because of COVID, now at 67.3. Now, 67.3 is abysmally low compared to what we should be doing. And I'll show you data from other countries that are not even up to Lagos State in population. I'm not Nigeria, not even up to Lagos, but doing so much in terms of export, 62.7. But what's interesting about this 62.7 is that you will notice, which is where our challenge is, the non-oil, which is our focus in this conversation, is just less than 15%. In fact, as at Q1, data released by MBS this year, Q1, just about 10.06%. Just about 10.06%. Now, I want you to look at this. This is the foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. Do you see both the foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, and even other investment? Can you see how everything has gone down? Mainly because of the kind of the policy Nigeria was operating at the time as far as FX is concerned. Because there was no transparency and there was so much disparity between the parallel market and, of course, the official exchange rate. And coupled with the fact that a lot of people were stealing the crude oil and were not able to get a lot of export proceeds. Now, with this level of decline in foreign direct investment, of course, we shouldn't be surprised because the demand for FS is still there, it's still growing. We are still importing as much as we were doing before. People are still traveling abroad for vacation. People are still going for holiday. People are still going to school, and all of them need foreign exchange. So there's so much demand, and that contributes significantly to what we have seen in terms of the exchange rate differentials. Now, I'm doing all this background to talk about the fact that we can contribute to the growth of trade as far as export is concerned. Sincerely, we can do so much to support a lot of business at home by also acting as representative. And of course, this is a business for you, so you also make money in the process. But while you're making money, you're also contributing to the FX inflow into Nigeria, because you are right there in diaspora and you actually are within the market that we need to be able to grow our FX inflow. So let me talk about some of the products. And I'll be showing you some of the data of exports that Nigeria already or currently do. Look at it. Can you see crude oil, petrol, and gas contributing 85%? So any change in the price of this significantly impact on exchange rate. If we're not able to get as much as we should, it affects the exchange rate. Can you see what is on the right-hand side? That is the remaining 15%. But let me expand it a little. Before I do the expansion, look at the total export for the 2.4 billion. This was only COVID. But if you look at the data I showed earlier, it was 67.3. That's as at last year. But I want you to check some other countries in the world. Countries like Netherlands, with a population less than Lagos, doing 692 billion. And by the way, this Netherlands export, in fact, all these from even the Belgium 548, all of them are doing more. When you combine the whole of African export together, Belgium, France, Italy, South Korea, Hong Kong, they're all doing a lot more than the whole of Africa put together. And one of the reasons is because we have done a lot in terms of export of commodities, and we have done a lot in terms of value addition, which is one of the things that I'll be talking about in the course of this conversation. So if you look at this now, you can see the item we're exporting. These are items Nigeria currently export. I'll also show you data of what US imports. Some of them, both US and Canada, some of the items they import, which of course you see there day to day as you go to different stores to buy different things. From cocoa to oily seed, raw tobacco, cocoa butter, spices, Nigeria fertilizer, gold, wood, charcoal, raw aluminum. Now, if you drill down a little, you can see the cocoa beans, raw tobacco, soya beans, cocoa butter, cocoa paste, soup and broth, starch residue, beer. Other products include oily seed, coconut, and Brazil nut. These are what Nigeria currently exports. Perfume plant, spices, dry fruit, raw aluminum, scrap copper, raw lead, refined copper, scrap aluminum, gold, precious metal, scrap metals, precious stone, nitrogen fertilizer, pesticide, soap, cleaning product, crustaceans, concentrated milk, raw bone, fermented milk, fish fillet, live fish, other pure oil, groundnut oil, palm oil. Now, when you look at the volume of those products in terms of the global market demand, vis-a-vis our own contribution, you will see a great disparity. The fact that, and that's an opportunity for us really, because we can do much more better. Petroleum. Nigerian market share of petroleum in the world is just about 5%, 4.68 as of 2020. Out of the 640 billion, we're doing just about 30 billion. Cocoa beans, market size, 854 billion. Nigerian contribution, 5.73. You will notice that, look, as much as we talk about some of these things as, oh, it's our foreign exchange earner, but what are we doing? Can you see Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Cameroon doing a lot better than us in this area? Cocoa butter, $5.8 billion market. Our contribution, less than 1%, 51.1%. Then cashew nut, 6.87 billion. Our contribution, 3.13. That's about $215 million. Spices, 3.61 billion. Our contribution, 1.7. Now, it's good to put this in perspective. The fact that more than 70% of Nigerian farmers are peasant. We have close to 40–50% post-harvest losses, and we have not utilized up to half of the arable land. In spite of all these shortcomings, we are still doing this much. Meaning, if we become more mechanized, meaning if we begin to use more of our land, meaning if we can control the post-harvest losses, we will do a lot more, because in spite of this shortcoming, we are still doing this much as a nation. Consider milk, a market of $21.4 billion. Contribution from Nigeria, 7.92 million. That's about 0.037%. Palm oil, $3.34 billion market. We're barely doing about $1 million. And I heard Malaysia came to pick up their seedling from Nigeria many years ago. Gold, talking about minerals, $422 billion, 0.052% in terms of contribution from Nigeria. Lead ore, $6.23 billion, $25.9 million from Nigeria. And zinc ore, $7.93 billion and 0.4%. Now, this just to show the fact that we're not doing so well. We're not doing well at all, actually. But we can do, but it's also a great room for improvement, because, and like as I said, for us to be able to grow beyond the fact that, okay, financing is required back home, but one other critical area is collaboration between home and abroad. Collaboration between home and abroad. It is something we must be very deliberate about. And I'll tell you why as we go along. Because we need to develop the market to be able to encourage investment back at home. If people know there are demand for this product and there are representatives out there who will ensure that these products get buyers and payment is made, then it becomes easier to also get more investment coming into the sector at home. Look at some other products that are currently produced in the country, from food, agro-process, cosmetics, fashion, and the like. These are all produced from Nigeria. This Modera, these are cream produced from Nigeria. This is pap. Currently, this pap, I export it to the UK. I know some people currently take it to US and Canada, but I currently export this directly to the UK. And here you have shea butter cream. Now, what's interesting about this is that you see the pap, this pap in blue pack and white pack was produced. The company that produced this is the same company that produced this. Now, that's instructive. I'm aware of Nigerians who are in North America who have their own brand. They have their own brand. They produce the pack, ship it to Nigeria, and get companies in Nigeria to produce for them in their own brand. Meaning I can actually own my own brand right there in the US. So that means I'm bringing it in. I am not have to worry about, oh, what if the people are buying are calling the people I'm getting from. You can actually brand for yourself, meaning you can protect your market. And there's so many companies that you will be able to do this. Here you have Bean Flour and the pap. Like I said, this lady Adarex is not the producer, it's not the manufacturer. The manufacturer here is Tasty Pot. So that kind of arrangement is something you can take a look at. This is a different kind of cream. This is herbal tea, different type of herbal tea. Then you have here nuts, different kind of nuts. And then, of course, this pepper is preserved for at least 1 year, and it does not have preservative. And it's produced in Nigeria. Here is palm oil. This is the 3 set of pap I currently export to the UK. These 3 pap, the yellow, the brown, and white, are all what I export currently to the UK, and also actually looking for market and distributor in North America. Now, here are clothing for children and for adults. Here is a pepper soup. This pepper soup is produced in Nigeria. You basically open it, put it in the hot water, and it's good to go because it's freeze-dried and all produced in Nigeria. Here's another product. These are cosmetics, and these are produced in Nigeria. Kanda, soap, cream, lip balm. Now, just to show you some products already produced locally. So the reality is, because of the demand of some supermarket locally, and the desire of different businesses to sell abroad, a number of businesses, the serious ones, have had to step up their game in terms of ensuring that they have their product packaged in a way that will be acceptable to buyers or potential buyers in the international market.